Well, since it's my stated objective to integrate audio recordings and video interviews into my book or whatever it is I'm going to create about grief or other topics, I thought it would be useful to create a video tonight utilizing the resources that I have here in my little office slash studio and talk about what I would have uploaded as a printed daily today. And that is the challenge before me of all of of assembling the necessary components to uh, really create what it is I want to create. So for the sake of Pro 4, I'm talking about a book I want to write about grief. But that book is intended to include very personal interviews that could be transcribed and simply put into the book in the form of quotations of the content of those interviews. But what I really want to do is use the actual person's voice and the inflections and the emotion and the pauses that occur when somebody talks about their own personal experience, especially on the topic of grief. I don't want to miss the nuance that comes from hearing someone talk about grief in their own words and not just reading about my transcription on a page, though I think there's power in that as well. I also want to do Zoom interviews with people and talk about their experiences with grief so you can see the emotion on their face or the pain or the unanticipated joy that came out of their experience or their encounter with grief. So these are the things I want to do. And as I talk about this, I realize that the project is evolving beyond a book. And it looks like maybe it needs to be a blog or a vlog or a destination website where I can produce this content and incorporate the audio and the video components. But I know very little about how to do that. Now, I do have a website, it's a WordPress page. It's faulknergroup.com. So if any of you want to check it out, I would love some critical feedback on that. That was originally created back in my professional days for the purpose of business, and I'm no longer in that business. So I kept the domain. It's not really a great domain for what I'm talking about doing, but it's what I have, so it's what I'm using. I'm not going to get distracted by that. But I don't really know where to go from here if in fact that's the best vehicle for what I want to do in my topics, whether it's grief or something else. And then what do I do about search engine optimization? What do I do about attempting to build an audience? How do I integrate YouTube? Do I integrate YouTube? And all of that goes into, I don't really care if I write a book on grief and my mom is the only one that buys it. I'm good with that. I'm not really here to try to create commercial success. But if I'm going to take the time to do a blog page, it would at least be nice if people experienced the beautiful things that someone else has to say about their encounter with grief, for that to have the potential to impact another life and to maybe bring healing or hope or encouragement or just shared suffering. So I need feedback on how to go about doing that in an effective way. Someone encouraged me in one of their feedbacks on my earlier posts that there's no comparison here whatsoever, that Seth used his blog to create an audience by doing it every day on a daily basis, and out of that blog came different books over different times and different periods. Maybe I just need to start there instead of starting with a traditional publishing route of creating a book. But I would welcome your feedback on this, because i am I am over my head in an area that I don't really understand. I know how to do an interview. I know how to turn on my video camera, and I know how to use my little portable Zoom 6 recording device to do out in the field live interviews if I need to do that. Beyond that, I don't really know how to leverage the technology to put this all together in a meaningful delivery system. And then I really don't know about what should I do to try to expose it to an audience so that it's not wasted effort, so that it does have the chance to speak to someone's heart. So that's my daily for today. It's more of the technical piece of how to pull the strings and put this together. And if you have any thoughts or ideas, I welcome them. Uh, and it's an attempt to use video in my daily to see if I can pull it off. So I'm going to upload this to YouTube and see if I can transfer that link to my daily. And if it works, I'll give myself a little pat on the back. Thanks for viewing, and thanks for all the incredible feedback so far. I am really looking forward to walking alongside all of you and experiencing your art your way, and sharing in what it is you came here to create.